This river in Florida steals thousands of dollars from tourists every year. It's an extremely popular spot for tubing during the summer months, and today my buddy Chris and I are suiting up with our scuba gear and metal detectors to see what's hiding beneath the surface. So grab yourself a snack because you're not going to want to miss out on everything that we find on this epic dive. It is important to note this is alligator territory, and we definitely need to keep our heads on a swivel while we're out here, especially when we're diving in the darker water. Alright guys, so we made it to our first spot. I'm going to go ahead and get geared up and hop in the water. We're going to try to see if we can find any cool treasure for today. So the trash that you see inside my treasure jar already is stuff that I found up on the bank before I even hopped in the water. To briefly break down my hunting process, I start with the Excalibur. It's my bigger metal detector that covers more ground and helps me narrow down the general area. Once I've got that spot locked in, I switch over to my pinpointer. It's a smaller tool that lights up and vibrates when I'm within about an inch of the target, so when it goes off, I know I'm right on top of whatever's hiding in the sand. Pull tabs are honestly the worst. The metal detector makes them sound like treasure, but 9 times out of 10 they're nothing but junk. Even though it's a letdown, I'm still glad to take them out of the river. Cleaning up is just as important as finding the valuables. Where'd you find that?
I got a quarter hit, and it was like in between, like I was like looking for a quarter, and I'm standing, I'm like 87, I'm like, oh whatever, another quarter, and then all of a sudden the edge popped out. It was like in the sand by the tree trunks. I was like just starting to swim down towards the sand. I'm like, yo, this is sick. It's been there a while, but
That's sick.
It's not turning on.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a waterproof case.
No. It's an iPhone.
I was like, I'm like, 87 phone usually don't hit 87. That's cool, but it, whatever.
You can actually see this water inside the
In the lens.
in the screen there. All I got is a pull tab.
Oh.
I'm over here finding nothing but pull tabs and old fishing hooks, and not even 5 minutes after Chris finds that iPhone and swims off, he comes right back over with another crazy find.
Right next to where I found the phone.
Bro, what
I got
the
a
heck?
banging 35.
Are you freaking kidding me?
It's got some marking on it too. It's 18 karat 750.
Bro!
Dude.
What are you doing? What?
I can't. I'm so pumped right
Oh, dude, all I have is a bunch of trash. Like I said before, it is nice knowing that I'm removing all this trash from the river, but I was a little bummed after knowing that Chris just found an iPhone and a gold ring, and I've only found a bunch of junk, so I was determined to find something good. After finding nothing but a bunch of trash for over an hour, I was starting to get a little bored and my ADHD kicked in, so then I started playing with this little hog choker. It's really neat with these guys. They look like a flounder, but it's a completely different species of fish. They'll actually start their life out in the ocean and they'll migrate up into these freshwater rivers like you see here. With only my open water certification, I can't explore these caves myself, but watching trained cave divers go inside is incredible. I know plenty about these springs and the aquifer that forms these systems, but they're actually in there seeing it firsthand. It's kind of like looking up to the next grade level, wishing I could tag along. Alright, that's enough with getting distracted. It's time to get back to collecting more trash in the river. What I found next here I could hardly believe.
Look at this little tiny one too. This little baby one's 14. This little tiny one.
Dude, I told you your whole hand's gonna come back with freaking rims all over it.
That's a nice reindeer. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's killer, bro. That's amazing. That's a serious ring. Dude, that's your first ring, and it's probably the nicest ring you'll ever find.
I'm like, I thought it wasn't real because the diamond in the middle, the cut is so nice on it.
Okay. That's congratulations. That's sick.
Thanks, dude. So to give you a little bit more context here as you watch me to continue to pull trash out of the river, I am very new to underwater metal detecting. Chris was actually the guy who got me into doing this, and it is so much fun. I absolutely love it, and that was my very first ring I've ever pulled ever. I've never found anything like that, so I was super pumped, and I actually thought that it was fake at first until I pulled it out of the water, and then Chris kind of confirmed it for me that it was legit, so I was pretty stoked on finding that. After a million bottle caps and pull tabs later, I finally found myself another cool target. These things were buried really deep, so I feel like they've been down there for a while, but unfortunately they're not real. So I decided to try my luck in the dark, scary water to see if I could find anything good out here. This part of the river looks a little brown because of something called tannins. They come from leaves and plants breaking down in the water, kind of like when you steep a tea bag. That's why the water sometimes has that sweet tea color to it. I found this itty bitty crawfish that wasn't moving, so I kind of scooped him under my hand to see if he was alive, and then he kind of just shot out and disappeared. I think he was trying to play dead. At this point, Chris and I were starting to run low on our first tank, and we were getting hungry, so we decided to break for lunch and to swap out our tanks. Once we finished with lunch and swapped out our tanks, it was time to hop back in the water. We decided to check out one of these really cool caverns before we went back to metal detecting, so we made our descent down into this giant hole. When you finally make it down to the bottom of the hole, you can feel the pressure of the water shooting out from this cavern. It's pretty intense. Technically speaking, as long as I can still see the light from the surface through the opening of the cavern, this is considered a cavern and not technically cave diving. But either way, you should always have a dive buddy with you, especially when you're in scenarios like this that can be potentially hazardous. To be honest with you guys, between the pressure of the water and the depth, I felt like the air got really thin and difficult to breathe, so I kind of got freaked out and I decided to turn around and exit the cavern because I didn't want to die. I was trying to stay as calm as possible to try to conserve my air, but I think you can kind of see how my breathing picked up as I got freaked out. Thankfully, I made it out of the hole and I did not die, but let this be a reminder to always dive within your limits and to never do anything stupid to push yourself too far to possibly risk your life. Alright, let's get back to some treasure hunting. Chris is over here going through all of his treasure.
All right, here we go.
Alright guys, so we just made it back to the truck and I'm going to go ahead and lay out all the treasures, all the finds for today, and I'm going to show you everything that we pulled. I'm actually so stoked. We had some really awesome targets for today, so I am pumped to get to show you guys everything. So these are all the targets that I pulled today. We had a few glass bottles there, a lot of aluminum cans, just plastic trash that I spotted as well, lots of scrap metal like nails, and just I think there were a few like tent anchors in there, tons of bottle caps. I thought all of those were rings and they were not. Pull tabs for cans, a few lead weights for fishing, some change. Found the silicone ring, I spotted that. I got 3 pairs of sunglasses here, and my favorite pair were the Gucci pair. I found this dive knife. I'm not really sure. It kind of seems a little cheap, but you know, it's pretty cool. I found this key. If anybody knows what this key is for, I have your key. Got a couple lighters here. This looks like this was like an airsoft CO2 tank or CO2 cylinder there. Got a couple vape pens here. And last but not least, this is a 14 karat gold ring, I believe, with a ruby in the middle there. There's a few diamonds that kind of go around the ruby, and then a few on the band as well. This thing was sick. I actually thought this was fake when I first pulled this, so I wasn't too excited until I actually got it out of the water and examined it. This thing is easily one of my best finds to date, and this is actually my first ring I've ever found too. This was incredible for my very first ring to ever pull. And so like I said in my previous video, I did say that I was going to get a bag and a scale, and we're going to weigh all the trash that we found today, so then we can kind of add it all up and see how much we're able to pull in an extended period of time. I don't really know how long we're going to do that for. We're constantly going to weigh, but I just don't know, like maybe a 6-month or 12-month period, not sure, but I think it's cool to see the progress of how much trash we're able to pull out of the water. All right, so for all of the stuff that we're throwing out, I am keeping like the Gucci sunglasses and that ring and some of the change and all that stuff, the dive knife, but of everything I'm throwing away, all the junk, it's all in here and right now. I'm gonna go ahead and weigh it. The bag before putting all the stuff in here was like 0.2 pounds. I have a handy dandy luggage scale here that we're gonna use to weigh the bag. All right, guys. 4.3 pounds, not bad for today. So we're gonna go ahead and throw all this out, and we'll just kind of continue to accumulate how much weight we pull out of the water and all the trash. But 4.3 pounds, not bad, it's pretty cool. Alright guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.